Well, June is Homeowners Month, and as Idaho continues to grow, so does the housing market. So today, Tom Kirchmeyer and Bryce Gonser are joining us to talk about buying homes and how you can afford it. First of all, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
So, as Idaho's grown, we've seen a lot of people move in here. How has that impacted home prices or the housing market in general?
Yeah, I mean, Idaho real estate's no different than the national real estate, in which if you look at a macro level scale, it's gone up and to the right as far as price home appreciation. We saw a huge uptick during the pandemic. And right now, if you're looking at a shorter time scale, yeah, we're down 5 to 10%, year over year. But to kind of continue out throughout 2023, interest rates should continue to be dropping. There's still a ton of demand and very little supply. So we should start to see, month over month, home prices continue to appreciate.
I think there's a lot of first-time buyers out there, right, who are trying to buy it, but maybe they're struggling. What are some of the steps they can take?
Yeah, I mean, Idaho's got probably one of the best bond programs in the nation called Idaho Housing and Finance. And what this allows them to do is, most people think that they need to have 3% or 3.5% to put down for a first-time home buyer. This program allows to basically decrease that capital contribution and put as little as 0.5% down. So it allows them to get into a house with substantially less money. And so that's a great program that would, allow for somebody to get in with less money out of pocket.
Yeah, a great resource out there for folks.
Absolutely.
We're talking about home buying and those first-time home buyers. I mean, how far in advance are you supposed to be planning or trying?
Yeah, I think the important thing is finding out what you qualify for. So before you start looking at houses and falling in love with something that maybe you can't afford, or maybe even being discouraged by not knowing what you can afford, it's important to get pre-approved. Find out what your finances allow you to purchase, and then talking to somebody who's an expert on where interest rates are, where things are going, and see if that's something that's realistic. And that way, you can start looking for homes in that price range.
Yeah, a lot of good information there. I know a lot of people are watching right now and maybe they're in this boat, right? They're trying to buy that home. Any other tips that you have for them or what they should know?
I mean, the main thing is payment relief is coming. Rates will eventually start to come down. If it's the right situation, you can still get into a home. You can refinance down the line, but just knowing that this is a moving pattern and things are going to get better and payments are going to get easier when that happens.
Yeah, there's kind of a light at the end of the tunnel for folks, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Bryce and Tom, thank you so much for joining us here on the News at 4. We'll be right back.
Thank you.